Buff Nation, what's going on? This is pretty interesting. We got a 2025 commit, Kyle Carpenter, a late add to the roster, athlete out of Buford, Georgia. That is where, like Alejandro Matas from. Maybe we got one other guy on the roster from Buford, if I remember correctly. This is great. So we'll check out his highlights, talk about what he brings to the table. Of course, let me know if he reminds you of anybody, what his comp is. Let me know in the comments. Smash that like, subscribe so this blows up. Kyle sees it and whatnot. Welcome him to the Buffs. But let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, I just wanted to show this post here. Kyle Carpenter added on the Colorado roster. I assume this is a scholarship ad because we did get the post, which is great. And yeah, you can see he's pumped up about it. Now, let's get into who he is. We'll share some of these highlights and you guys enjoy this. First, we're going to start out with the wide receiver highlights as well, but he's got great size. He's 6'2, 200 pounds, and a guy that can kind of high point the ball, catch those contested catches. Really nice back shoulder throw and catch right there. You can see him playing some press right there as well. Now, from what I understood, is that he was going to go the junior college route, offered to come to Colorado, took advantage of that, and now he's here, which is great. And we've needed some developmental athletes, some developmental corners, especially with some of our younger guys moving on to some other schools via the transfer portal. And yeah, he seems like a really good athlete. He's also played basketball as well for Buford, and from what I've seen, was putting up some nice points and stats there. I love to see how physical he's getting, even though he's kind of being brought down back, but is able to throw that blocker down on the ground as well. So cool stuff. I think he had one touchdown this year for Buford, and they had another really good season. I think 12 wins this past year. They're one of the better programs, in the state of Georgia. So that's great. And I do wonder if he's gonna be kind of like some of the other guys that we've seen on the roster that might dabble in multiple positions. Of course, right now, have him as a corner, but of course, our wide receiver room is absolutely loaded, so it might be a little bit more difficult for him to get time there starting off. I think his quicker path to playing time is probably in the defensive backfield rather. And again, one thing that I really like about him is that even for a guy who's playing wide receiver, sometimes you can find this with guys that are playing wide receiver. They might look to avoid contact. He's not one of those guys. He's built very well, like I said, 200 pounds, 6'2 frame, and very physical. He can tackle. He's not afraid to go through contact at all. Let's see what he does right here. A nice little corner route, gets out of his break pretty quickly, and then again, you see how it's taken, 2, 3 guys to push him out of bounds, not going down on first contact. These are the types of athletes that I really love. I mean, if we're not bringing in a guy that's just gonna, juke you out of your socks and take it to the house with some 4.3 speed, give me somebody who's ultra physical and, he can punt too. He can punt too. Yes, please. You always need an emergency punter in case one of your guys goes down. So love to see him making an impact on special teams too. Fits the mold of guys who impact the game, not from one side of the field, but in this case, all three phases. That's really cool on offense, defense, and special teams. So, Coach Prime loves his defensive backs tall, lanky. I think that Kyle Carpenter fits that mold as you can tell. And hey, I'm also pretty interested in seeing what he can do as a punter. But let's go ahead and look at some of his stats really quick. On offense, you see he had 142 yards receiving this past year, one touchdown, averaged about 16 yards a reception. So definitely take that. Look at the all purpose. Nothing on kick return and punt return, anything like that. Let's see what we can find on defense. 3 total tackles. So might have been playing a little bit more part-time. Maybe this is why he was looking to go the JUCO route just to get on the field. But hey, get in the Colorado strength and conditioning program. That has looked great. Be around an atmosphere like Colorado, maybe grind, develop for a couple years, and then as we've seen with some of our guys that came in 2023, now going into their third years when they're starting to contribute, maybe he's one of those types of players. In terms of punting, looks like he had 2 punts for 73 yards, 36.5 average. All right, I'll take that as part-time punter. Okay. But yeah, let's see what he can do. He's a guy that, um, can jump out the gym. He can catch the ball. He can tackle. He can punt. Why not use one of our later scholarship spots, or one of the last roster spots, rather, because we got 100 remaining on Kyle Carpenter. I think that's interesting. A guy that can do a whole bunch of things, and we got nothing to lose with Kyle Carpenter coming to the team. So, y'all, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I always think guys coming onto the team from kind of non-traditional backgrounds is always uh, quite fun. I think that's fun, and we'll see what he can do here, maybe like a couple years or so. So, welcome to the Buffs, Kyle Carpenter. Smash that like, subscribe, welcome him in the chat. I'll be back later today. Let's go, Buffs.